Worldwide, welcome to the LiveLarge video blog. Like I keep saying at the beginning of each of these episodes, we're on episode 4, and with it being number 4, we are still out here trying to inspire the next person who's going to be, let's cut that bit, we're out here trying to inspire the next person, whoever it's going to be, to get into whatever trade it is that we decide to cover. And today we're talking about DJs. And I'm blessed and privileged to have this guy sat next to me. Introduce yourself, pal.
Yo, what up? This is Mantis, aka DJ Psykhomantus, aka What's the Scratch, aka
AKA Worldwide. This guy is like, I've known about this guy even before I knew the guy. And I think I've known you roughly around 10 years now.
Yeah.
10 years plus, easy.
yeah.
But I knew about you before I even came to the Midlands. I've been in the Midlands, I'd say for roughly 20 years now. And in that 20 years, even from living in London and hooking up with bits and bobs around there on the UK hip hop scene, your name was always like on the tip of tongues. Do you know what I mean? In a good way, always in a very positive way. Do you know what I mean? Like that guy from Leicester, or it was either Leicester or Birmingham. So sometimes people got you mixed up. Like
They still do.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are you from Birmingham? No, I'm from Leicester. Like, yeah, the same guy. We always end up talking about you. The same guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I like conversations with people about you, like, because you're that guy. Do you know what I mean? You're just like, you're all over.
Yeah, it's true. From a youth, my parents always kept making me go backwards and forwards to either Birmingham or London, because my dad, he originally lived in London before he moved over to Leicester, because that's how I met my mother. But like from the get-go, I was always backwards and forwards between London and Birmingham. So yeah, I'm still like that up to this day. Still traveling. I love traveling, man.
Yeah.
I do.
So one of the questions that I would intend to ask anybody that gets involved in this is about your education, because education is key to life at the moment. To succeed, you've got to have a good foundation. And for me, it was like one of those things, like when I was at school, especially secondary school, it's a bit whack, bro. It's like, the way even like, I don't think I could reach out and say that one of those teachers in my secondary school inspired me to be someone. Do you know what I mean? And I'm interested about how that was for you.
Ooh, school. I'll be honest with you, it's the same as what you were just saying there, because for me, my education was just through music, and that was the only thing that showed me how to identify myself and got me ready to go out in this world. School, the only thing I could say I got that I find interesting with the schools I went to was the fact that I was that kid that was always with a cassette, and that made me popular.
Okay.
And even up to this point, I'm still sitting there thinking, you'll really give me a flashback now. How did I go to school? You know, kids normally go to school with a backpack and stuff, and they've got the food in there and books. I went to school with my boombox.
What, like Radio Right?
Yeah, for real.
Baby radio.
For real. I had this Sharp stereo. I can't remember what model it was, but it was Sharp. And
wait, let me explain, because if you're young and you're watching this, you probably don't know what Sharp is. Sharp is the equivalent to like a Sony,
JVC.
Yeah, back in the days, like Sharp was like, if you had something made by Sharp or Candy.
Yeah.
Or Hitachi.
That's
it. It was about it. Yeah.
For real, yeah. And I had a Sharp boombox, and I used to go in my secondary school. I remember to go to school with it, playing the most popular track. I remember that gives me a flashback to my head was Steady B's I'm Serious. And you know the BDP remix. I remember going to school with that, and you know, kids were like, "Who's this dude?" So, yeah, that's a bit weird. But yeah, music was always my key. I wasn't into... I suppose I didn't relate to what the teachers were trying to break down, because obviously in the school they just put you in this kind of a system. You know where I'm going with this and stuff, and I won't identify with it at all, because one, I only could speak about the secondary school because the first school I went to was Taylor School. Taylor School. That's where, believe it or not, I've forgotten the footballer's name. He used to always do, he's sponsored by Walker's Chris.
Gary Lineker.
Yeah, Gary Lineker. He went to that school, but often not the same year. And then my parents moved me out into... Taylor School is in St Matthews. And St Matthews was mostly in Leicester. It was mostly a lot of blacks and Asians there. More or less a lot of blacks in that area and stuff. Highfields was definitely like the area where it was just full of, the blacks. I think it was the age of, could be 5 or 6. Parents moved us out into like a working class area, which was, I would say, the posh part of Bronxton, because Bronxton's a dodgy area, but there's a posh part.
Oh, okay.
And that's the area we went in, and that area was just like, there was no blacks there.
Yeah.
So I was like the only black kid who went to this school. If there was any, I do remember there were 2 girls, I think they were twins. They were a year older than me in the school, and they were the only blacks in that area that I knew. But that obviously was a changer for me, because I'm like going into this environment where these white kids have never seen anyone black before.
Yeah.
So back then, the whole, they testing, like, being called certain names or whatsoever and that. But not all of them were bad. At the end of the day, someone just didn't understand my cultures. I could tell honestly I didn't really knew theirs, because they were like this, they're just like, had it like their world was just white and that's it.
Yeah.
But in that school, which is from Taylor School, so I went to, it was Ravenhurst School. That's the school that was where it was like the guinea pig tester and that. But I used to have a lot of fights. My patience was tested.
Tested daily.
And I'm like, I used to fight with guys who were like 3 years older than me and stuff, and the headmaster said that I did this to them with that, because I used to black out and go in. I used to, my temper was like, like the Incredible Hulk, you know, like it when I'm angry and stuff. And I was this kid just like, nowhere, like guys would just hit me, get punched in the face, and they're getting tired. And I'm like, are you finished yet? Then I'll just go in. And stuff, I was like a rebel. But anyway, not like that anymore. But I remember coming across this guy, I can say his name's David Kent. He was this back then the words was trendy, this trendy white kid. And he had like these tapes that he must have got from his older brother. These were the electro tapes, Morgan Khan and that. So this is like getting into like these electro tapes. Like, what's this? And I remember hearing stuff like that when I lived in St Matthews, because my mum used to take me to the park, and dudes were like locking and popping on the mat and stuff. And it was the electro music. By rights, electro music was the one that drove me in, and I've noticed it was like a new culture, a new movement. A new movement for our generation, because obviously my father was more of the lovers rock reggae culture, because my background obviously for music, I forgot to say, was I always was surrounded by gospel music because of my grandparents. Soca music, my mum was into soca music, and reggae music, my dad was into reggae music, so that was all the music it was. And obviously going to school, at the age I was, at that young age it was, pop music was, Top of the Pops was there that Thursday. So pop music was there, so I'm absorbing all these things. So going back to David Kent, bringing these cassettes over, and I'm like, what's this? And loving these tunes and listening to Knights of the Turntables by, something Mass. I can't remember the name of the tune. It's going way back.
God digging, mate.
It was for real. It's like, wiki, all those tunes, those proper electro tunes, and I loved it, and thought, and you know, I want to try and dress like this, and watching the older guys, you know, walk street and, you know, tagging and graffiti was a big thing, and I remember getting a little pen and I was doing little scribbles. It was really true. My first name would, you know, because I was just tagging, was Dare, D-A-R-E. And I was influenced by just the style of the writing. I thought, yo, I love this. And there's Leicester, there was this graffiti artist. Well, obviously I didn't know what the person looked like, but he was tagging Zest all over Leicester.
Yeah.
And it would just be everywhere. It was like, how does he get up there? And it was crazy. And I was just amazed. And I remember my mum made me watch Beat Street.
Okay.
Took me to the cinema Beat Street. So we're talking 84.
Yeah.
'Cause I won't say 83, I'll say 84 or maybe 85, because things that happen in the States come in a year or more later.
Yeah.
But it was like, yo, what's this thing? You know, and seeing the DJs have 2 turntables, it was futuristic, and to me it was like, yeah, this is me, because before that, I'll say this, before I was introduced or seen this thing called hip hop, obviously I was into reggae and that, because I loved musical youth.
Yeah.
And I used to dress like the young ones, had the hat, cut the, you know, the shoulders and that. Like, Dennis, come back with me apple pie, and sing Youth for Today and all that stuff. So, as I said, it was just always music. So at school, David Kent just kept bringing more cassettes. I started to go to
That's weird,
HMG.
you know. I had a guy at school, and his name was Aneta.
Okay.
African guy, sound. And he used to come in with like these mixtapes.
Okay. And cassettes.
But this is like, he was having, like Kane. This is the first time I heard Rafa Kane was on a tape. Which
okay.
somebody recorded from it, and he had that, and he had a whole load of BDP on there. I was like, oh, this is like.
It's funny how you say that, because that's how I got introduced to Kane. Because I remember going to London, staying at someone's house in West Ham. Again, these are bigger and older guys.
Yeah.
So these guys knew the spots. They'll go and buy, they get the imports and that. So by the time, this is when, you know, Man was like, obviously these guys were influenced by reggae music, but their vibe was connected to someone who lived in the States or went to the States himself, and come back with it and start bringing tapes, or saying, yo, this is the thing, because hip hop was really starting to blow up by then. And going back to what you're saying about the Kane and the BDP, and I remember seeing the Boogie Down Productions, not the first album, not the Criminal Minded, it was the By Means Necessary.
Yeah.
So we're talking 88.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing a 12-inch by Big Daddy Kane next to it. I'm looking at the cover thinking, yo, who's this guy? Or sitting there with the high top and stuff. And obviously I couldn't touch their records.
Yeah,
so
that was forbidden, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was forbidden. So they went downstairs, took it out the sleeve and flung it on. And I was like, yeah, I've heard this guy's voice, but didn't know what he looked like. And it was the Wrath of Kane 12-inch. You know the beginning. You know what I mean? So that comes on, I'm like, the Wrath of Kane. Like, yo, blew my mind, because this track is up tempo and everything.
Yeah.
Yo, who's this guy? So put the record back in, and I remember hearing it on the radio. There was some pirate radio station on it, and they played Kane. I'm like, who's this guy he's talking about? You know, he's got the coolest cameo and stuff like that. Scoop love my brother, scrap love the other, and understanding that's his dancers. And it was like, yo. So, and then obviously Boogie Down Productions, that single, My Philosophy, is like, yo, who is this dude? And you know, didn't know that Scott La Rock passed away at that time, or he had his tragic accident at the time, he got killed. But to me, I'm just soaking this all in, thinking, yo.
It was like the information coming across the water at that time was always delayed.
Yeah, it was.
When we had it, when I got it, I had no idea who he was. Who is Scott La Rock, and why is it such a meaningful thing? And then it turns out probably find out he's passed away.
Yeah, I found out late, because again, I always got jumped onto all these rappers' second albums. When it was LL Cool J's, it wasn't radio. The second album, which is Bad and Death Rock.
Yeah, you had to go back and get
those albums. So I mean, LL, that was my hero, because to me it was like, okay, at that time it was like, I'm starting to follow anything that comes out in Def Jam.
Yeah.
I didn't know I'm starting to become a collector of these things.
Same.
And if it was not on Def Jam, then it was Cold Chilling.
Yeah.
And at that time, anything that was on those you didn't even
was a must.
Yeah, it was a must, because you didn't even
know who it was.
Yeah,
but because of the label strength,
you just get it. Because back, as you know, back then, some people get something. Oh, let me hear it first.
Yeah.
You didn't need to.
No, you just pick
up and guard.
Because there wasn't that many on the import.
Wasn't that many on import, and you knew you got something special. So Def Jam obviously had Beastie Boys, LL Cool J, Public Enemy.
Yeah.
Cold Chillin' had like the whole Juice Crew. Cade. Master Ace was on there, Cool G Rap, Marley Marl, anything that was touched by Marley Marl was like, yo. So this became like, yo, I'm into this thing. Going back to LL, I just loved the way he looked. It was like if hip hop had like a figure, to me it was LL Cool J. You just got the Kangol hat. Yeah. You know what I mean? And people was rocking the gold chains back then and stuff, and looking fly, but he was braggadocious. There was something about him, and most important thing, what I liked about him, he loved his women. His young boys. So to me, when people used to say, "Oh, he's gone soft and that," I'm like, back then to me, I could understand, because boys always wanted to please their boys and stuff. Like, that's some weak stuff. You know what I mean?
No, but he targeted a whole other audience.
He did. And to me, I looked at it back then and thought, oh, what's wrong with having girls liking you? Because that's a win-win to me. Because I'd rather be surrounded by girls than boys, you know what I mean? Not being funny, but that seems a bit, to me back then, that seems a bit gayish to me back then. And that was the mentality. Nothing wrong with gay people, I got nothing against them. But back then, it's like, I don't know about that.
Times moved on, innit?
Times moved on, you know what I mean? So, but that's how it was. But look at it now. Look at groups like artists like Nelly. Yeah. They're all based off the LL Cool J. Even Notorious B.I.G., even him to some point. And Kane was the same. Kane was like a dude. He would wear a suit and still rip it.
It's more like, the black exploitation.
Yes.
That's what he reminded me of. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like a shaft, but he could rap.
He was
just like a shaft, but he could rap, and he proper could rap.
And that's the thing. And that was going back to what you said about the school. Hip hop became my education, because groups like artists like Big Daddy Kane, KRS-One for Boogie Down Production, X-Clan, Public Enemy, Brand Nubians. They were talking about Black history, Africa, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. Had no knowledge of these people until these rappers start to talk about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would turn around and say the message from Grandmaster Melly Mel, Grandmaster and the Furious 5, but Melly Mel obviously rapped it, when he did, oh God, I forgot the name, the track now, Broken Glass everywhere, people pissing on the message.
Yeah, the message.
As a young kid, I related to that track, so that was an eye-opener, and I still think that's the baddest track up to this day, still, because it's still relevant.
Yeah, it's still relevant.
Still relevant. People can turn around and say, oh, the fitness and that. Nah, nothing touches that song. And it was a reality check with all these artists, is what they were saying. And that made me aware of who I was, where I come from, and relating to how my dad was viewing things from, because obviously my dad listens to reggae, so he's listening to the Peter Toshes, the Bob Marleys, and to me it's like they're saying the same thing. They're all talking about Africa, where they come from, and how the system's messed up, Babylon and all that business. And it's like, okay, that's how they've said it, because as kids, you don't really listen to what they do. You want to be in your own zone, but you realise, like, all right, we're all in the same path here, and that's what hip hop has done for me. In my school days, got me through.
Yeah. So what about the old, like, when did you decide, like?
Oh, the elements. When I was
like, you're there now, so the suit, we were the 5 elements.
Yeah.
But like for me, what made me choose the DJing side of it was, one, I couldn't really spit bars. And two, at the time, we had a friend across the road, and his elder brother was a house DJ.
Right. Okay.
So like they would go there and like do the waves and you know what I mean, try and get a little chest and pecs and whatever. But the first time I went up there, I saw the decks. So these times I've been watching your MTV raps, and I had one dry pioneer with pitch control and one without. But he had 12 temps. He had a pop-up, the silver ones as well.
Yeah.
He had like the silver temps.
Yeah.
I was like, So when them man were pushing weights, can I have a look? And the first stuff I started to try and mix was house. Because that's what all they had. I didn't have any vinyl.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and after that, I was like, I've got to get these some of them. So how did you pick that element of the culture?
Well, I mean, back then for me, it was, you did, at the age we were, you did every element, you did it all. Because back then everyone was doing it all. You tried it all. And what I'm trying to say is
I'm a big guy, break dancing like with the windmill and the helicopter.
That's the
knocking
thing,
my
though.
out all the way around, you know what I mean? So
But that's the thing, you had to be there and to try it to know whether if it fits you and stuff. And to me, and that's what it was. And I stuck to the thing that I thought I was good at.
yeah.
I was into dancing, but I was more into the up rock. I was I really wanted to be like Scoop and Scrap Lover. And I love what Kid and Play was doing and all them things. Back then when rappers had two dancers in their videos and that, I was all up into the up rock. And I didn't really want to do the graffiti. One, going around trying to spray up some walls means like you're going to get chased by the police and stuff, and I'm not bringing the police back home with me because I know I'll get some serious ass whipping from my parents.
That was always the message on the way out.
Yeah, so it was like, so the graffiti was out the zone. The dancing didn't really, I loved the dancing, but it was like, it didn't grab me as much. I did rap a lot. But because my dad was like part of a sound man and stuff like that, the DJing was always there because I was surrounded by music. So even though I was more or less second to, like I said, I was tagging first, then the rapping came in, and that name was Sinister G. So that was my second name. And then like when I met my two friends, one's passed away, is Steve Antonio. He was back then called Selector S. Well, Solid MC, sorry, was his first name. And another guy, he went by the name of State MC, where he's now known as Wayne Rex. They both obviously became DJs later, but back then we was all rapping. And to answer your question, I have to say the story. So, met these guys on a park, and they were doing dance routines. They were practicing in the park.
Yeah.
I was this kid with David Kent. We was on our BMXs and stuff. And you have to forgive me because you can see why I'm the most bugged out dude. Because I remember watching Jackie Chan a lot back then. I was watching, Jonathan Ross had this show called The Incredible Strange Show, and he did a show dedicated to Jackie Chan. Because everyone just kept talking about Bruce Lee at the time and stuff. And yeah, Bruce Lee, hands down king. But my dad used to always bring Kung Fu films. This is a time where them man was just bringing in films.
Master.
Exactly.
Shaolin Temple.
That's it.
Yeah.
So had no idea that who this Jackie Chan was. But when Jonathan Ross had it on the show, I was like, I've seen this guy. I've watched that movie, Snake and the Eagle's Shadow. I've seen Drunken Master. I was like, yo. But didn't know Jackie was doing all these stunts. So I'm like, yo, this guy's amazing. So me being the silly kid I used to just mimic, kind of like a class clown I was at school back then, but we'll go out and I'll go on these monkey bars and try to do these silly stunts and everything. And then I'm hearing some music. I'm like, who's playing like music I like? And saw these two black kids. They're from Boston, but the dodgy area of Boston. Right. So then obviously didn't go to the school I went. And I'm like, yo, who are these guys? They played some melodies and they was practicing their dance routine. So I stepped up, introduced myself, said, yeah, I'm into music, and I brought my stereo. By then, I had a different stereo, a black one. I can't remember what make it was.
Probably Toshiba.
It might have been. Toshiba. It might have been a Toshiba, yeah, it might have been. So I'm there like, yo, check this out. And I remember think LL was coming out with Mama Said Knock You Out, because there was rumours about him hooking up with Marley Marl. And I thought, yo, you like this and that. So these guys thought, yo, who's this dude? And then they asked me if I wanted to join this group. And I thought, well, I don't really know how to, I've not really forced myself into rapping or anything like that, but, I can dance or anything. So I went home, continued listening to my music, and wrote some lyrics. I remember the first part was Funky Fresh dressed. No, not Funky Fresh dressed in Fresh. That's an MC Light job. But I remember, it was something like Funky Fly, something weird, and then rapped it to them. Oh yeah, it's my turn to kick a flavour, something about my neighbour or something like that. And they loved it, and then asked me if I wanted to join the group. I was like, yeah, cool. Thought,
first audition.
Yeah, it was the first audition. Smashed it. They told me to come in, and then then I adapted the name Sinister G. And I thought, yeah, go with this name. And then after that, went to this place called Spectrum. Spectrum was Leicester's kind of a youth centre, a place like Baby J's place here, where it was a place where activities for young people or any activities, but back then it's it's black entertainment and stuff, because there was another place called Luca, and that's where the big mans went. There's another place called Red Star and Harfield Rangers. Now Spectrum to me was, for me to say, is the Bronx's Apollo. I went there to do a performance. I remember being nervous as hell, thinking, oh wow, we had 6 songs to perform. Now Solid State, that was the name of the group, was more, Steve Antonio, Solid MC, was more influenced by Guy, New Jack Swing. He was into his Aaron Hall and Teddy Riley. Wayne Rex, who went by the name of the Solid MC back then, he was into New Edition. Bobby Brown, Ralph Tresvant, the whole crew. I was the only one who was just strictly into hip hop. You know what I mean? The Cades, the names of the I was hardcore. Now I remember starting to think twice, thinking, no, I'm not feeling this, because I feel like we're soft compared to who we're gonna go up against on stage. And like I said, the reason why I say it's like Apollo, because if you was whack, you was gone. And I didn't want to make my first appearance to be my last.
Yes, I made the sad man,
You for real? So, but we had a track called Leicester Massive. And really truly, that was like an anthem, not knowing it was an anthem for Leicester. We talked about everyone, every group, every radio DJ, everyone in the committee who was down, we had in this one song. But that was our last song to perform. So we were doing all these other songs. I had a solo song, can't remember how that one. I didn't like it. I thought it was whack. They did their songs, I thought, it was corny. I had our little dance routine. I remember everyone was just watching. And I thought, I just said, we were going too great. As soon as we did Leicester Massive, dropped everyone. Everyone, we had it. That was to me, that was like the savior. Everyone wanted to know who we was, and so on. And I thought, yo, we can do this. But still in the back of my mind, I still just wanted to be a DJ, man. Even though I was starting to collect records, like yourself, my dad had 2 turntables, but they weren't the same 2 turntables. They weren't Technics turntables. And didn't have a mixer, just had this massive, which he still got up to this day, this big Eagle amplifier. It was like a powerful thing only them reggae man would use. But it was legit, you know what I mean? Because for him, them reggae DJs, especially them dub ones, all they needed was just one turntable, treble, bass, and that's it, and a mic. That is it. And they're good to go, like you said, where hip hop DJs, they needed 2. So fast forwarding, the group kind of faded out, but we got our names, or we got known. And I was buying records galore. We had a pirate radio station in Leicester called Fresh FM. So I was checking it all out. My influence back then was, even though, don't get me wrong, I was so, as a kid, I so wanted to be like, oh God, these DJs are doing, seeing what Jazzy Jeff did, hearing what he did because when he did his thing on that album, he's the DJ, I'm the rapper, the live at the Madison Square, hearing that blew my mind. Equal / shall I say Cash Money, when he came up with the album with Marvelous, All You Ugly People Be Quiet and Where's the Party At, the cuts on that, like, yo, how are they doing this? It was they're the ones I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I wanted it. So with me, with groups, I was down for it because of the DJ.
The element of that.
Yeah, I wanted to be like Jam Master Jay. I wanted to be like, you know what I mean, EPMD's DJ Scratch.
Yeah.
When Premier obviously was a gangster,
Yeah.
I was like listening to them and they were doing this zigga thing. So every time my dad would work, you know, I just go to the turntable, just push the record backwards and forward. That's all I could do.
Yeah.
And use the volume as the crash, you know.
I was blessed to do a gig with Scratch a few years back in Dubai.
Okay,
Some
cool.
Adidas All Original party. And Adidas Run DMC, DJ
Yeah.
Scratch.
Oh right, yeah.
So I was blessed to do a show with him, and like the guy's just like, it's phenomenal.
Yes, he is. And
not only his talent around the decks, but the production as well.
Yeah, well, he's a heavy producer. Him.
So
and
underrated. A lot of people
yeah.
don't know half the stuff he's done.
Yeah, he's.
But like, so if you're out there, Scratcher, salute, bro.
Yeah.
It's like what you're doing is like, and you're still doing it. I seen your Scratch Vision is out there and popping. So salute.
Yeah, Scratch Vision is dope. I've seen a copy of the Scratch Vision.
Yeah.
He's dope. Can't
But anyway,
do, but I love him.
Let's get back to you. So now you're a DJ.
Yeah. So.
You're a DJ and.
Well, let me say how I got into DJing first. When I was collecting the records, going back to the Fresh FM, I was checking out the groups that were on. So obviously, I'm searching for the hip hop DJs, and the hip hop shows. And the one shows that I liked was Hardcore Trio. There was Master Plan. They were the two that I liked. While Radio 1, I've forgotten the guy who passed away before Tim Westwood got onto Capital. Because they were the ones on the big station, but for the ones in Leicester, it was like, Hardcore Trio. Now, every tune they were dropping, I'll go to the shop and collect.
Yeah.
Wavy C is from Hardcore Trio, and he had a solo show. And I remember listening to his show, and every track he played, I remember like, I've got that one. And I remember one show he did, I had all the records, so that's when I felt kind of complete. Like, if I've got all this, then I can do this. Now, I bounced from Solid State and joined a group called Nubian Element. They were called 01 first, then they changed the name to Nubian Element. And Nubian Element, everyone kept thinking Nubian Element was just 4 guys. But it wasn't. It was like Arrested Development. It was this whole crew. There was like these female African dancers and everything. It was a big crew.
Yeah.
But we were the centre of the attention. I don't know if it's because when I came in, because I had the records, and it was me. That's when I changed my name to Buster Scratch. So that was my third name. And then we had Agent ST. He's now known as, he's a singer now. He's now known as Mikey Black. Then there's
Mikey
Black. Yeah, that was Agent ST. Then there was Scratchy One, which he hangs with him. And there was another guy who went by the name of Itchy One, but he doesn't do anything with music anymore. He's a happy, mild guy that he does things in television now. He lives in London. But so it was Buster, Agent ST, and basically Itchy and Scratchy. That's why they got the name Itchy One and Scratchy One. So yeah. So putting you on blast there, Scratchy One. So that everyone thought that was Nubian Element. It was just us 4, but there was loads of us. But we're the ones that went on Fresh FM,
right.
And we were the youngest.
Yeah.
We were the youngest hip hop kids to come out and do our own thing. And that was it really. It was like, still didn't have my own turntables, but had access when I went to Spectrum. So again, DJ Yes think he was the main DJ for the Thursday nights, like a youth night. Basically, an open deck night. It was an open deck before we knew we was calling it an open deck night. But it was an open deck night. And I remember having loads of records and wanting to go there. And like, right, I'm Boss to Scratch now. Forget Sinister G. And I remember Schoolboy was there. Black Magic. DJ SS used to play in that place. There's all these Leicester legends.
It's like, you just mentioned like Black Vinyl Magic.
Yeah, Black Vinyl Magic, Attraction B.
Yeah, it's like some of these guys are like...
They've come back with the force to Derby.
Yeah, it's
Nottingham.
mad. It's like coming through like the ranks down south, East London or whatever, heading over to South London, Subterranean. Them guys were getting bookings at places like that where I was going to see artists.
Yes.
They were getting bookings to perform for artists.
That's right, yeah.
Or open up,
yeah.
you know what I mean? It's like,
They're my influences. So it wasn't just the hip hop DJs, because to me it's like the hip hop DJs and the main, you know, like I said, the Jazzy Jeffs or the Scratchers and all that. But for the local ones, because it was closer home, made me really want to get into it more. And it didn't matter what genre of music, because there was like Strange and Knowledge. They always played house, and I like the way they presented themselves. Black Vinyl Magic was a very good entertainer on the microphone.
Yeah.
He knew how to talk to people. And that was something I was soaked up. I even told him the other day when I last saw him at Leicester's Carnival, because he's saying like, no, it's his younger brother, Schoolboy, that I was like, nah, it was all of you.
Right.
Even though that I took their little brother, Scratchy One, underneath my wing, it was like, nah, you know, it was all of you and stuff, and everyone that I, you know, took tips from. And when I did go on Fresh FM, and I remember speaking to Strange, the one who plays house music, because I was a bit nervous, and he said to me, just be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't try and be anyone else.
That's a good message.
And I took that note still up to this day. And you know, I respect him for that, because I was trying to be like the other ones. And then it was like, yeah, let me try and be myself then and stuff, and that was it. You know, still trying to figure out.
As you're growing, you kind of mimic to try and find ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I first started like DJing, like I was in my bedroom, I was stealing equipment from the front room, like a little tape deck or a little record player here and there. I was blessed that my mum let me do that. And I remember saving, I think it was £60 back then.
Yeah, £60 was big back then, rude boy.
Going to Tandy's.
Tandy. Realistic mixer.
Realistic 2-channel mixer with the little needles, the EQ needles.
That's right.
I was like,
that's right.
Once I had that, I had my setup and I could record what I was actually doing.
Yeah.
I felt like a DJ.
That's it, for real.